You know who doesn't do little things? Bad football teams. And that's why both of our teams don't do the little things well.
No, every week we get on here and complain about. We should just do a segment called "The Little Things."
I'm in for
All
that.
the small things
things.
we don't ever do.
Because we suck. All right.
Little melody for the people.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones. Upset alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there. There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach.
Beat the team you promised me you were going to be this year.
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.
Welcome to episode 26 of Birds vs. Boys, as always powered by Branded Sports and brought to you by the King and Queen Vodka, stateside vodka, made right in Philadelphia. Aidan, I can't believe we're heading into week 11 of the NFL season. It is preposterous to me.
Don't love that. I kind of like having football as an escape. Even when our teams are playing badly, at least there's other good football to watch. Having no football sounds terrible. I don't even want to think about that. No. I'm on way too much of a high for you to start this episode being like, well, we're going to lose football soon.
Do you want to get into why you're high real quick before we get into it?
The most typical Philadelphia thing ever. On Monday, I sat here with a bag over my head, and today, goodbye Horford, forever, see ya, enjoy Oklahoma, and now I sit here today, I could have tears of joy streaming down my face, and if that doesn't epitomize sports in Philadelphia on a week-to-week basis, I do not know what does.
Yeah, it's this year too. It's been like Sunday to Tuesday. It's like Eagles suck. And then you get to Wednesday-ish, and it's usually like, we're back, baby. First place. Let's go. Let's roll.
We never die. That's actually kind of my theme for tonight when we get into the Eagles preview of it. It's all right. It's officially Wednesday, so my brain is back into, all right, let's get behind this team.
First place. All right, but before we get into that, let's go a little bit around the NFL. And on our Thursday episodes, as always, we'll start out with our power rankings. Do our picks. I don't really like to call them locks anymore. We'll go the picks that are sometimes locks, but not always locks. And then we have a couple around the NFL points before we get to Birds versus Boys. So the stateside vodka power rankings heading into week 11.
Do we just want to do the one around the NFL first? Because I think it's so ridiculous. It would be unfair not to talk about it in front of these teams.
Which one?
Two grown men fought each other today.
Mm-hmm.
One was the head coach of a team, and then the guy got fired. Like, when was the last time that has ever happened in sports? Like, I feel like it would be rude of us to not lead with that. Yes. That is the most asinine headline I've ever seen.
So Joe Judge, the head coach of the New York Football Giants, got in a fist fight with his offensive line coach, Mark Colombo, former player and former coach of the Dallas Cowboys, who followed Jason Garrett from Dallas to New York/New Jersey. The offensive line hasn't been playing great, hasn't really been evolving. I mean, they blocked pretty well against the Eagles last week for Wayne Gallman, but I haven't heard what this was really about. I can't believe it's coming out of a win. But, I mean, if Joe Judge gets his ass kicked and then fires him, I feel like Joe Judge needs to step down immediately and give the job to Colombo. It's like Warrior Island here. You got your ass kicked. You're good night.
Wasn't that Darwinism? Like, when they taught that in school, it was like I don't know if Darwinism is the right theory, but like if the offensive line coach kicks your ass, that means that you have to leave, and then the offensive line coach takes over.
Exactly.
But like, and if you step to the head coach, like, I think you have to win that fight. That's like a burn the boats move. Like if you get your ass kicked by the coach, Like you can never go back and like tell a player what to do. Be like, hey, you have to block here. Like no,
I'd be like,
it'll just never happen.
Oh, okay, coach. Maybe when your black eye goes away, then I'll block.
Yeah, then I'll block. Yeah. Sorry, couldn't see you.
So
Through all the swelling because you got your ass kicked.
I want to know where Jason Garrett was during this. Like, was he on the sideline, like just clapping? Was he like, guys, we're friends. Let's just be. We can't do this. I mean, I always say we have to win the fight, but I mean on the field, not physically fist fighting each other.
Definitely in a nonchalant position where he was like, guys, knock off the horseplay here. We got serious things to do.
I actually looked like a competent offensive coordinator this weekend. Can we do this again?
Yeah, he's like, guys, stop bearing the lead. I finally looked confident for once in my entire life. Don't screw this up for me.
And now you guys are going to punch each other in the face and be the headline?
Yeah, they were. That was Jason Garrett, as we talked about, is their secret weapon. So they got in a fight on purpose so that it didn't expose the fact that Jason Garrett is actually smart and creative now.
And I think Jason Garrett is setting all this up because he's going after Joe Judge's job, just like he went after Wade Phillips. He literally like came from behind and just strangled Wade Phillips and just took him down slowly and just like put him in a ditch like in a mafia movie and then just put dirt on him while he was still alive. Became the head coach.
Mafia movie or Step Brothers. It's like that meme where the Grim Reaper is standing behind the news lady on the beach.
Yes.
It's just Jason Garrett, your team's head coach.
Yeah, no, it was a great headline. I would love to see the video. I mean, somebody had to have videoed it, right?
I feel like a player definitely had it. Like it's definitely saved in his system. Yes. So like if you're in the inner circle of like who's the Andrew Thomas who they drafted in the first round, like I feel like he probably has it on his phone.
Yeah, he's just
Wayne Gallman probably has it. You know, like, we'll never see that video. But
Wayne Gallman's pissed right now too.
What's that?
Wayne Gallman's like, he has these dudes blocking for me. I can't lose Colombo right now.
Yeah, he's like, what the hell? They had 100 yards rushing in the first half, and then they fired the offensive line coach because he punched the head coach in the face. This came after a win. Also, literally. How did these two numbnuts who were fighting each other come up with a better game plan than the Eagles did? This makes me even more concerned than I was before. And I was already on like threat level midnight.
Maybe somebody needs to punch Doug Peterson.
Okay, I do Staley. Now's your chance, buddy.
Step up,
knock him out. Let's
step
go.
up.
Yeah,
maybe if he gets punched in the face, he'll remember how to kick an extra point.
It's like in Christmas Vacation. When she gets kicked by a mule, eyes go cross. Falls down a well, eyes go straight again. That's what we need for Doug Peterson.
That's exactly what he needs. But yes, so the Giants are without an offensive line coach because he knocked out the head coach. That's pretty much the headline.
The story. We could not bury that story. So,
no.
You know what? The Giants weren't making the power rankings anyway. They will, in terms of 3 and 7 teams, they'd make the power rankings. So.
Yes. All right, I got one more around the NFL, and then we'll get in the power rankings.
Okay.
Because this is kind of needs to be at the height of the show too. So obviously COVID is spiking around the country. We know this. The Eagles have kind of put a pause on fans now in the stands at the link.
Okay.
Jerry Jones talking to our buddy RJ Choppy and Sean Sharif on 105.3 The Fan this week says he still plans on growing attendance at Cowboys games. They lead the league in attendance. His plan all along was to continue to expand on the number of fans at games. And even with COVID spiking, he says that no one's doing anything safer. It can't be any safe. No one has ever tested positive after going to a Cowboys game. And now it came out that 8 people in Tarrant County have tested positive that were recently at a Cowboys game. Jerry, why?
Well, you know, like COVID comes for everybody. Like if you say something, if you don't try or say something disparaging about COVID, like it'll come for you eventually. Like for instance, Florida, their head coach Dan Mullen, he wanted a packed swamp. He wanted Gator Nation to sell out the swamp in Gainesville for a game. They did not play that game because so many players got COVID, including him. So it's like, what are we not getting? Like, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are. COVID's coming for everybody. So just like, you need to hide behind the bushes and just wait for it to pass and get a vaccine, and then we'll fill it back up.
Yeah, I mean, the one person, well, even, I mean, OBJ came at COVID, but said it was like a mutual respect thing. But he's like, COVID don't want none of me. And then all of a sudden, he tore his ACL the next week. So
It's
COVID
like,
finds its ways.
Just try to lay low, you know?
Yeah. So that's Jerry Jones for you. And, you know,
He's
he's
everything that's wrong with America, not to go into full like eat the rich mode, but it's like, he doesn't care because it's not him, but it's more money in his pocket. So if he can, if some guy gets COVID watching a 2-7 football team, but he paid $175 for a ticket to Jerry World, think Jerry Jones cares about that guy? Not a fucking chance.
Nope. And if you are going to watch a 2-7 Dallas Cowboys game during a pandemic, you kind of deserve to get COVID.
I was driving by. There's a Chili's near my work, and the parking lot is always like packed. And I'm like,
yep.
Imagine risking COVID for Chili's. Like this is that times a million. Imagine risking COVID to watch Andy Dalton and the 2-7 Cowboys.
When you could watch it from your couch with a 70-inch TV with beer in the fridge and your bathroom right there, safe in your home.
Safe.
It's a better experience.
Totally safe. Save some money. You know, you got the other TV on Red Zone. It's a swell time.
I love my Sundays in my basement. I don't plan on going to a game for a while.
Nope, not until hopefully next year. Hopefully we're doing this next year, and we don't do around the coronavirus when we start up.
Exactly. All right, so those are two main topics, but let's get into our power rankings here a little bit.
Okay.
We thought it was going to be number 1 Chiefs all season long, and that has kind of turned a couple weeks ago. So my number 1 team is staying the same. It's the gold standard, undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers.
You know, I'm right there with you. We've been talking about this. We talked about it on the radio last week. They are, like you mentioned, we'll keep saying gold standard, gold standard, gold standard. But that was like such a classic game where they squeezed by the Cowboys and they just flat out inserted their dominance against the Bengals, where they're like, we're the inferior, like you're the inferior opponent. Like, we're just better than you. So
go away.
They're one. Yeah.
Go away.
It was such a just go away game. Like, just take your L and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
No one. We
don't want to hear about your little rookie quarterback here, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, like we're gonna eat you alive. Have fun the rest of the year.
Yep. All right, number 2, Chiefs.
Chiefs. Yep. It's ironic that they are technically in a spot again and again and again in our power rankings, and we know where they're gonna end up. It just happens to be 2, not 1.
Yep. Exactly. And who knows? In a week or 2, they could jump easily back up if the Steelers fall on their face.
That's true.
My number 3, this is where 3, 4, 5 may get a little different here. Even though they had a close game this week, they've had some close games. I'm still going Aaron Rodgers and the Packers here at number 3.
Okay, I will admit that they are my 4. They did have a close game against the Jaguars, which
didn't love that.
A little bit confusing. But yeah, so I do have the Packers at 4. It's mainly because of Aaron Rodgers. They really haven't been that impressive. I don't know.
They just find ways to win.
Yeah, I feel like they're still good, but at the same time, I'm like, there's something not there. It feels like they're on that same trajectory where they could go 13-3 like they did last year, but they're just like, their ceiling is the NFC Championship.
Imagine if this team gave him, like, he has Devontae Adams, and then they just gave him like Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb also.
You mean like if they had a draft?
Yeah.
And they drafted a receiver.
Yes. Instead of like, Equinemius St. Brown, who I love from Notre Dame, or Marquez Vantez Scantling, who went off, but still.
Or like drafting a quarterback, and they could have drafted a receiver, and you draft a power back, even though you have Aaron Jones. Like,
think about that.
Could have. We're saying this is what if? As if it was like the Thunder keeping Harden, Westbrook, and Durant together. Like, no, it's a thing. Like, this could have happened
easily.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So
my 4, I guess I should say my 3, which is the Saints, because I think they are a very complete team, always have. I'm worried. They're giving the keys to James Winston. So I don't know if they're going to be back at 3. He's going to eat that W. But, I mean,
the Saints
they
are
still
my
have a
4.
complete team. They'll just turn around and hand it off to Alvin Kamara 25 times, and they'll be all right. I don't worry too much.
He is having an unbelievable season.
I feel like they've been under the radar, don't you?
Big time.
And they've beaten the Bucs twice, which makes it even more interesting that they're under the radar. I think that they've lost in such insane ways in the playoffs and choked some of those away that people like lose their passion about like choosing them as a Super Bowl champion. So now they're like under the radar.
And I just feel like 2020 has been so brutal for everybody. And now Drew Brees gets hurt. I would love, obviously if I can't see the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, which I'm not going to be, I would not mind seeing Drew Brees go out as a Super Bowl champion this year.
Man, I could care less if he gets a Super Bowl. And I mean, if Malcolm gets one, I'll be happy. I don't know. Like, there's a list of people like I'd be happy. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be like, damn it, I can't believe Drew Brees won. But it's just like, I don't know.
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind him and Sean Payton.
All right, yeah, I'll eat it. Like, who cares?
I like wheat bread. So yeah, the Saints are my number 4.
All right, so we just got those flipped.
Number 5, I have the Bucs. It was very hard. I don't love them putting them there at all. They came back and did what they needed to do after losing to the Saints the week before. I looked at, I kind of wanted to put Buffalo there, but then they lost Arizona. I was like, ooh, could I put Arizona there? No. Could I put the Rams there? Maybe. I'm just gonna stick with the Bucs, and this is like eating oatmeal. Like, it's good for you, but I don't really enjoy it.
I love the food analogies that we're pulling out in these power rankings. Yeah. So I respect that. Like, I respect that take. It was just so bad against the Saints, and the fact that they've lost to their division rival twice. Like, it just left a sour taste in my mouth. The one team that you did bring up, the Rams are my 5.
Okay, I like that.
You do like that?
I do.
Yeah. See, they were your maybe, and I think if we had to do 6 teams, they'd probably be your 6, right?
100%.
Yeah. See, for me, I think it's that because their defense was so impressive against Russell Wilson. Like, they took the MVP candidate, kind of chewed him up and spit him out. And I know that Seahawks literally don't have a running game because they don't have any running backs available to them.
And they don't have a defense.
But it was still an impressive showing on Sunday. They've been in my power rankings before, so I'm quick to bring them back.
Yeah. No, I think they're kind of another under the radar team this year too. That division is just, I keep saying I think the winner of the NFC East should give their playoff spot to the number 3 team in the NFC West this year.
No, that's not fair. Look, I earned the right to host a playoff game by winning 6 games and tying the Bengals. You can't strip that right from me.
Yes, I can.
No, I earned this. I had to sit through this team for 17 weeks. I better get a home playoff game out of it.
And the NBA draft is underway. All right.
Who cares? Horford's gone. Hooray.
Yay.
All right. Wait, let me do one more. This is a tip of my cap to Dave Portnoy for this, because I am on the same page as him. Let's go very, very far down the power rankings for the Ravens. How about at spot 22? Let's put the Ravens.
Yeah, Eagles should have beat them. I know. They had their shot to beat them. Imagine what that one would have done for your team.
Would have done a ton, but it did not occur.
Would have done a ton.
Would have done a ton.
Would have done a ton.
I mean, they're frauds. They're just frauds.
There are. Lamar Jackson is not a very good quarterback. To say it. It's just, I mean, he can't make all the throws. I mean, Hollywood Brown's pissed. You can tell he wants the ball down the field and he wants it more and just can't get it to him.
They can't get them the ball. They can't get any of the skill position players the ball.
Except Willie Snead. And Willie Snead, who had 2 touchdowns.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just not good.
And I don't want to – you can't blame the weather the other night because guess what? The Patriots had to play in the same weather.
Yeah. Like, you're going to face obstacles, and it feels like anytime they run into any semblance of an obstacle,
Oh,
They
they
can't do
fold.
it. It's like
They fold.
when you draw a Sharpie around an ant. He just like can't fucking figure out. Just walk past the Sharpie line, man. It's not stopping you. Like the Ravens are just an ant stuck in a Sharpie circle. Like they cannot get past it.
Just walking in a circle. Okay. So those are our power rankings. I have Steelers, Chiefs, Packers, Saints, and the oatmeal tasting blah bucks at 5.
I have the Steelers, I have the Chiefs, I have the Saints, I have the Packers, and I have the Rams. And then at pick 22, I have the Ravens.
Boom. So those are our power rankings heading into week 11. So let's give the people our picks before we hop into Birds versus Boys discussion here. I went first on the power rankings, so I will be gracious enough to give you your first pick first.
Okay, well, let's go to a team that we talked about in the power rankings. Packers against the Colts. Packers +2.
Damn it, that's one of mine.
Yeah, usually we talk about this beforehand to avoid this, and we
all right.
forgot to do it. Look at us.
I have others lined up because just in case I had a feeling that may happen. But I love this game.
Oh, yeah, me too. Okay, so keep it. Actually, just keep your pick. We'll have a joint pick because
Okay, joint pick.
You may be able to answer the question for me. Why aren't the Packers favored?
It's in Indianapolis. Who cares? The Colts have won a couple games. Who cares?
Yeah.
I kind of I see this more of Aaron Rodgers versus a very good Indy defense, but I don't know. I feel like he's just going to have a way to figure them out, and I feel like this Packers defense is going to turn over Rivers 2 or 3 times in this game.
It just feels like the Colts. It's one thing. I know they had a pretty handily easy win against the Titans, but this is a different animal. Like that's just an AFC South like boring, bland game. Like the Colts weren't built to go toe for toe with Aaron Rodgers, and their defense is great. Don't get me wrong. And I've heard from a person or two in Philadelphia that Frank Reich is a good coach, but still, I mean, there is like a certain ceiling with this Colts team. And guess what? The Packers ceiling is the NFC Championship, but that's good enough to beat the Colts.
100%. And I don't care that it's in Lucas Oil Stadium. I mean, that means nothing to me.
Yeah,
Combine's there.
Rodgers inside, like okay, like that's not a bad thing.
No, yeah, we just talked about them. I have them at 3. I just feel like Devontae Adams is going to have a big day. I can't see Phillip Rivers going toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers and beating him this week.
Not a chance. So keep your pick. We'll do a joint pick.
Okay.
I think it's fair to do a joint because we're so confused by why that line is the way it is. We'll just keep it together. We'll ride it together.
We will. Yeah. I don't get it, but I love it, and I think I'm definitely going to be betting this game this weekend as well.
It's almost too obvious, which makes me scared.
That's the only thing that scares me. All right, what's your second game? God forbid you steal my second one.
Uh-oh. We haven't talked about this, so we'll see. I have Chargers -7 against the Jets.
Okay, we're good.
Oh, okay, good. All right. I just feel like Chargers have played so many games. They're such a team that they're not good enough to beat anyone, but they're not bad enough to ever get blown out. So they're always in these close, heartbreaking losses against like adequate teams. Yep. Now they're playing the Jets, who are far from adequate. So I feel like, and they're at home, coming off like another loss. I just feel like they need a win for morale, and this feels like a good spot for the Chargers to get a win.
The only thing that scares me in this game is Justin Herbert's haircut.
I don't know. I think it's a good thing. I think this was like, you know what? I got to change my ways. Not that he was playing badly, but it's just like, I got to change morale. I'm going to cut my hair.
I'm going to look like a 12-year-old with acne. But
yeah, Sid from Toy Story.
Being a Chargers fan, I keep saying this must be the most exhausting thing. Not that there's like 17 of them total, but those 17 people must just every week just must be exhausting the way they lose. I mean, I'd rather be a Falcons fan the way they lose rather than these.
Oh, don't venture that far, buddy.
Hey, I'm a Cowboys fan. It's bad enough. But yeah, no, the Jets are the Jets, and they'll be the Jets all the way. So I like that.
Thank you. And we didn't agree. You have a different one. What's
I
your
do. I am so sick of this team because I keep thinking they should be better than they are. And I've bet on them a couple times. So I am betting against them. And this is another confusing line for me. Patriots are at the Texans, and the Texans are a 2-point favorite. And I am going with the Patriots +2 in Houston.
Yes. Okay. What are these lines? Like, all right. I'm
know.
glad you chose this one because I was so confused. I was like, wait a second. What? Like, hold on. This is a Patriots team that just beat the Ravens. Like, we haven't
Yes.
seen anything from from
Houston.
the Texans like all year. And now, like, now they're favorites. What?
How are they favorites against Bill? Like, just all you got to. I don't care who's playing quarterback for the Patriots this week. Just it's Bill Belichick against the Houston Texans, who keep falling on their face week after week after week. Giving Bill 2 points in this game? Yeah. Thank you.
And I feel like the Texans, or I'm sorry, the Patriots, like Cam Newton is getting better and better as he returns from COVID and gets healthier. And I feel like this team goes with him. So it's not like we're watching the Patriots from 3 weeks ago that were losing and they look dull and they look flat. Like, they are improving. They almost beat the Bills and then they beat the Ravens. And now this team that went toe to toe with the Bills, who are really good, and the Ravens, so 2 playoff teams. Now all of a sudden they're going to struggle and lose to the Texans? What?
No. Patriots +2 in Houston. Give it to me all day long.
I like these picks mostly because I don't think these lines make any sense.
No. And I don't know if somebody in Vegas is drunk or if our apps are malfunctioning, but put the money in now.
Don't say anything. Yeah, just put the money in while you still can.
And then Homer Simpson back into the bush.
Back into the bush.
Just watch yourself make money. Those were our power rankings. Those are our picks. And before we get into Birds versus Boys, do want to remind everybody about Stateside Vodka. Make sure you go to statesidevodka.com. You can order yourself one of the big boys. The bourbon is coming out next week. Order it. They're shipping all across Pennsylvania. So even with COVID and lockdowns possibly happening again, you don't want to go out to the liquor store. That's fine. They'll ship it right to your doorstep, which makes it even better. It's beautiful when you sip it just on ice or with sparkling water or with Red Bull, whatever you want to mix it with. Stateside Vodka needs to be your go-to. All right, Aidan, let's get into a little Birds versus Boys action. Both teams are back in action playing this weekend. Would you like to go first or would you like me to go first? I know you're sitting in first place, so you get to choose.
I'll go because, we're in a similar situation that Philadelphia is always in. Just when you thought I was out, they pull me back in. Like, this just screams Eagles win after how badly they played, and everybody was pissed off, and everybody's ready to write this team off, and they're like, who cares? We don't even want to win the division. We lost to the Giants. We have been down. You ever see that meme? It's like, you've seen this movie 42 times?
Yep.
Yeah. I've seen this movie 4,200 times with the Eagles. So
2 inches away from the TV.
Yeah. I am pretty confident in a win, although I shouldn't be, but like we just know how it goes.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of the San Francisco game for the Eagles earlier in the year and like we said the other day, the Green Bay game from last year where it's backs are against the wall, it's coming off a loss. The Browns are everybody's fun new team that they're picking to, make the playoffs this year. This could easily be a game where Doug Peterson actually puts a game plan in place and Carson Wentz puts his team on his back and they ride him. He just wills them to a win, kind of like he did in San Francisco earlier this year.
That would be nice. Here's why I would like that, because I've been on the wrong side of the trade revenge games a lot of times. So what I mean by that, when I say trade revenge game, what's that mean? It's when you trade a pick to somebody, they draft someone, and then that player ends up playing your team and playing well. So here's a perfect example for Philadelphia. We traded with the Celtics. They got pick 3. They took Jason Tatum. What does Jason Tatum do every time he plays the Sixers?
Crushes the Sixers.
Kicks our ass. Yep. So who did we trade with to get up to 2 to pick Carson Wentz? The Cleveland Browns. I'd love to be on the positive side of this and just have Carson do one of these. You see what you're missing out on? Like, I just need him to outperform Baker Mayfield.
Have to. If you don't outperform Baker Mayfield.
There's like, for some reason, I'm like halfway into Cleveland Twitter, like Cleveland Browns Twitter. I don't know how I ended up there, but there is a large segment of their fan base who like doesn't think that Carson Wentz is good and are like we won the trade. And I don't know. The water in Cleveland has never been good. They who knows? But like, I feel like I'm not even being biased. Like that did not work out for them, right?
No.
I mean, they ended up with Baker Mayfield, who I don't even think is better than Wentz, but also like none of the picks that you got for Wentz worked out. So I have no idea how they won that trade.
They didn't win the trade. And I'm so happy that the Browns had the number 1 overall pick that season and got Baker Mayfield, because I thought I liked Baker when he was in Oklahoma. Now it's kind of perfect that he's in Cleveland, because I feel like I don't think I like Baker Mayfield. He's kind of like perfect for Cleveland. He does all these stupid commercials too. And I'm just so grateful to the football gods for giving Cleveland the first pick that year and not the year after. Because if Kyler Murray was in a Browns jersey, I would be miserable. There's something about him being in the Cardinals I kind of enjoy. If he was a Cleveland Brown, I would be horrified.
It looks so much. Well, he would have played baseball probably.
Yes.
Before he went to Cleveland, he just looks so much better in the red. It feels faster out there in Phoenix. Feels faster in Phoenix. You're welcome, Arizona. I've got your slogan for the year. But yeah, so I agree. Like the Baker Mayfield thing, I don't know. That's another reason why we can't lose. Like I can't be down 21 to the Browns and watching Baker Mayfield progressive commercial. I will kill myself. I just can't do it.
I will kill myself.
And it's your fault, Baker Mayfield. I'm gonna kill myself, and it's your fault. But yeah, I mean, we just can't. We can't lose. You mentioned it. Doug Peterson has to come up with a game plan. Like anything would be great.
Kick the extra point. It's okay.
You don't have to go for 2. If you're down by 4 and you get 2, that means you're down by 2, which means guess what? You still need a field goal, you idiot. Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to mention with Doug Peterson is this reminds me of the game last year. We were talking about like what game does this remind you of for this movie of the Eagles that we've seen a million times.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of the Bills game last year, and here's why. We lost 2 straight games on the road. One of those was to your Cowboys, and we really got punched in the mouth. Like it wasn't even close. Like we got handled both of those games, and it was one of the few other times where Doug Peterson was really actually like pissed. Like he left that game, and it's in the Amazon special. He was like mad after that Cowboys game.
Very.
And we're at that point this week, and they came out. They went to Buffalo, and they just like. They were just so much more physical, and they ran the ball more. I know everyone's clamoring for that. It was bad weather, which it's going to be like in Cleveland. Like Cleveland,
really
Buffalo,
windy, right?
I think it's windy. It might be rain again. It's just going to be. I mean, is it ever sunny in Cleveland? Like, does the sun exist? Is there just like some haze under the pollution?
I've been there one time for a baseball game after I went to the Hall of Fame to see Emmitt Smith get inducted. And it was hazy the entire. It was warm, but it was in the summer, and it was there was a haze.
There's always a haze over. You know how it's always sunny in Philadelphia. It's always hazy in Cleveland, but you know it's that kind of game. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be slow. It's gonna be bad weather. You just have to be physical. Like you have to be more physical than your opponent and win the game. Like you just have to win in the trenches. You have to run the ball well. Wentz has to make a few heroic plays, and you'll be okay. That's what they did in Buffalo last year. That's what I'm expecting this week.
And the team needs to do the little things. I know this is so cliche, but you need to do the little things right. Like Kelsey, the snap needs to be up every time. Mm-hmm. You need to convert at least one third down conversion. No stupid penalties. Catch the ball when it's in your hands. Do the little things right. And that includes keeping your QB1 on the field and not bringing your gimmick second-round pick quarterback in when you're in the middle of a drive that's going down the field, and then all of a sudden he fumbles the snap, and now you're in 3rd and 13.
Yeah, that's why you don't get a 3rd down conversion, because your quarterback's moving you down the field and you try to do this gimmick stupid stuff. Now it's 2nd and 13. Like you said, it's just dumb. And do the little things. You're spot on. Do the little things. How often did you see in that game a block in the back on the punt, a block in the back on the kick? Now, instead of starting at the 30, you're starting at the 10. They started most of their drives behind the 20-yard line. It's not a recipe for success, especially with an offense that's just not that good. So if you do the little things, you won't create holes for yourself. There's no treasure at the bottom of this hole, like Stanley Yelnats. Stop creating holes for yourself.
You know who doesn't do little things? Bad football teams. And that's why both of our teams don't do the little things well.
No, every week we get on here and complain about we should just do a segment called The Little Things.
I'm in for
all
that.
The small things we don't ever do.
Because we suck. All right.
Little melody for the people.
You know what I just discovered real quick on a completely different note? I've been staring at our background, if you're watching on YouTube,
behind me.
Not your background, the background of our actual podcast that is behind our pictures, which is the line of scrimmage with the Eagles having the ball and the Cowboys on defense. That defender right above me, I believe that's Orlando Scandrick, and that makes it even more funny.
Boo! He stinks.
I think he's the most hated man in Philadelphia next to Al Horford.
Well, let me tell you what. They both met the same ending. Get the fuck out. And don't ever come back. See ya. Kendrick's going away. See ya.
How about a dude that just...
Goodbye, Horford. Goodbye, Scandrick. See ya.
Goodbye, Horford's sister, too.
Goodbye, Anna. The Horfords are going away.
See ya. A dude that should never have opened his mouth. Like, you were in Philadelphia for a cup of coffee, too, dude. Like, shut up.
Oh, I can't even go down that road, especially the Eagles' social media staff ended that when they put that clip out of Malcolm Jenkins forcing a fumble when we were down 21 to the Vikings, which was that streak that I was talking about right before we beat the Bills, and cut Orlando Scandrick. It's all coming full circle. Bing, bang, boom. It's all
coming back to me now. It's all coming back to me now.
It all makes sense.
It does. It does.
So, I mean, aside from the only other thing I want to mention about the Eagles, and then let's get into the Cowboys, is the Jalen Reagor thing. I need him to catch 6 touchdowns this week. You know what? It's one thing if you say mean things about Horford on social media. Why are we, like, in a year where Brandon Graham is going to make the Pro Bowl and which is just like the cherry on top of a fantastic career with this team that stretched over a decade, and finally proved, like, hey, they probably won this draft pick instead of Earl Thomas. Like, why are we harassing Jalen Reagor because Justin Jefferson is putting up empty stats on a 4-5 Vikings team where Thielen wasn't even playing? Like, this is just dumb. Like, why are we harassing this guy? He was injured, and when he's been on the field, he's been productive. This isn't a J.J. Arcega-Whiteside situation where he's out there and you're like, wait, that guy's out there? Like, I didn't even notice him all game. Like, Reagor's, like, not playing badly, and you're on this guy in week 10. I don't get it. Like, that's just such a bad look.
And Reagor is I know people, like, immediately are like, oh, he's just a Deshaun Jackson 2.0 and he's a deep threat. Some of the routes I was watching him play this past week against the Eagles, he had a really nice, that was down the right sideline, a really nice comeback catch. Like, he ran up, I think it was like 8 to 10 yards, stopped on a dime and caught it going back. Like, he can do more than it's not just go to the post. He's a receiver. He's not just a deep threat, and he's a rookie receiver. If you give this kid time to grow, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people, I think, eating crow on Jalen Reagor.
Yep, I totally agree. He is the new age wide receiver where if you had a creative coach who did more than just like 4 verticals, and the all 22 did not do Doug Peterson justice or help him in any way.
Not doing well.
It was not a great game plan. But if you see how teams are trending, you see the 49ers do this, the Steelers do this, like a lot of motion, like Deebo Samuel, Chase Claypool. Like you're getting your guys involved.
Even Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon Ayuk. The 49ers are the kings of this. There's a bunch of teams that do it, though. And they're getting these guys in motion pre-snap. And, like you said, it's not always he's fast, send him deep. Like that's just like the caveman football way of thinking. This guy can do so much more. You saw it on that 4th down play. It was just a simple slip screen, sidearm Wentz pass, hits Reagor in the chest. We've got guys out blocking, converted on 4th down. Boom. It's that easy. It's that easy. Just start doing things like that with Reagor. He will prove his worth. Trust me.
Stop doing dumb things, idiots.
Hey, idiots. Do the little things.
Do little things.
All right. You want to talk about the other group of idiots?
Not really. So the Dallas Cowboys are traveling to the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings opened up as a 9-point favorite. It's down to 7. Our guy Kyle Yeomans, who we had on last week from DallasCowboys.com, had a great tweet the other night, and he just goes, Dalvin Cook is going to be a problem on Sunday in capital letters. And that's coming off a quote-unquote quiet game Monday night.
When you're having a season like he's having, the quiet games, quote-unquote, usually don't go back-to-back. Just to be honest.
And especially when you're going against one of the worst overall defenses in the league in the Dallas Cowboys. So I am fearful of Dalvin Cook. If it was set at like 130 rush yards, I'm going over.
It very well could be. And you got to worry about like them getting a lead and then him just like run to Cook, run to Alexander Madison, run to Cook.
I mean, look what the Cleveland Browns did earlier in the season against. I said they were going to run all over, and Chubb got hurt in that game. If you don't remember,
Nick Chubb got hurt, and they still ran for over 200 yards. Like this could be a disaster.
Yeah, and that was when they still had defensive tackles too. Now, granted, rookie Neville Gallimore is coming on. Yeomans talked about that last week too. He had probably the best game for a defensive tackle this entire year for the Dallas Cowboys. But again, he's a rookie. He's a 3rd round pick. Are you going to expect another phenomenal game against a team that can run the ball at the Vikings? I don't know. I also am very, very nervous about who is going to cover Thielen Jefferson and Kyle Rudolph.
Justin Jefferson, you know about that guy?
I've heard of him.
Oh my God. Let me tell you about it. He's the best. He's like, you ever watch Jerry Rice?
He's better than Jerry Rice.
10 times better.
10 times.
10 times better.
I don't know who's going to cover any of them. Awuzie is back this week, but Diggs is out, obviously. I don't know who is going to match up with these guys. If I feel like they're going to put more attention on Adam Thielen, which is then going to open up Justin Jefferson. And like you said, he's so good.
He's the best.
So that scares me. But my one prop bet that I love in this game is an anytime touchdown for Rudolph. I feel like Kyle Rudolph, this is just like a perfect game for him to have 2 touchdowns this week.
This does feel like a Kyle Rudolph game for some reason.
Right?
There ever was one.
Because again, show me the matchup. Who are you putting on Kyle Rudolph? Are you dropping down like Xavier Woods, the safety? He's not a man-to-man guy. Is Jalen Smith going to be on him? Then he might have 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And there is a report out, don't know how accurate, that the Cowboys are going to be asking Jalen Smith to take a pay cut this offseason. If he does not, the team is ready to move on from him. So we will follow that story as it goes down the line. But Kyle Rudolph anytime touchdown feels like free money to me in this game.
I don't know what it is, but I totally agree with you. I'm way more worried about Cook. Like I just don't. Isn't it a bad feeling when your team's bad and you're looking at the matchups like, yeah, I got nothing. Like I just can't figure out like how we're going to defend so and so or how we're gonna stop this play. Like I just don't know. It's just a bad feeling when you have that.
Especially coming off their best game of the season against the Steelers. I don't know if that if they're going to be high on themselves now, because this team, especially on the defensive side, smells themselves when they shouldn't be smelling themselves, and they think they're playing well when they didn't play well, and they think they deserve things that they don't deserve, or have earned things that they have not earned. So I feel like they could come out and be like, "Yep, well, you see what we did against Steelers last week," and then Cook's just in the face just all night long, and then they're gonna be like, "Okay, well, that was fun."
Totally agree. And also the Vikings are strangely playing good football. Like they were 1-5. They won 3 straight. They're 4-5.
I think I picked them to win the division before
I think you did. So you're not out of it. They are in the hunt. So you're there. Just when you thought they were out,
They pulled me back in.
You're still in it.
But Andy Dalton is back. He's cleared COVID protocol. Tyrone Crawford also cleared COVID protocol. So besides Diggs being out, this is one of the more healthy games, if you want to say that. They still don't have their QB1.
Yeah.
They still don't have anybody on the offensive line except for Zach Martin. But I still can't figure it out. I don't know how this team is going to move the ball. I don't see them scoring 20 on this Vikings team either with Andy Dalton.
And the Vikings don't have a great defense. I think it'll be a time of possession game where you're just like, okay, the defense has to get off the field. Like this cannot be the 14th play of the drive and it's a Dalvin Cook 2-yard plunge for a touchdown. Like they have to avoid that scenario. And like we've been saying, I don't know how they do it. I just know that they should do it.
You beat me to it. I was the two keys to winning this game or keeping it close for the Cowboys is 1, run the ball, own time of possession in this game. If Zeke is giving you 1 to 2 yards to carry and Pollard's popping it off, put 20 in there.
I agree. Go Pollard.
Like do what's gonna get you the yards to keep the ball out of Dalvin Cook's hands in this game. And the second one is when Dalvin Cook is on the field and the Vikings are on the field and it's a third down, this defense needs to get off the field on third downs. You can't let the Vikings go 11 of 14 on third down in this game.
Yeah, and because it's 3rd and 2 and you can hand it off to Dalvin Cook, or it's a simple play action play for Kirk Cousins and there's really no pressure on him on any of his throws. Like it starts in the early downs. Like I don't know. I guess I know we're kind of keep harping on it, but I don't know how they stopped Dalvin Cook. But like these early runs where it's like 2nd and 4, Kirk Cousins is not that good. But any quarterback set up for success when you're in 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 3 all the time.
Yep. So the line being set at 7, the over under is 48. I mean, I like the Vikings in the under in this game because I could see the Vikings putting up 24 to 28 points, but I don't see the Cowboys putting up their own 20.
I was about to say I was going to say 20, but I was like, that's their ceiling. Like I could see it being 24-20.
Yes. But that would be the closest I think this game is. And then you got the Cowboys on a quick turnaround after that. They play in their Thanksgiving Day game next Thursday against Washington. And there are rumblings about Deandre Baker to Dallas. They're looking into him heavily. Why, did he sign somewhere? Did I miss that?
I think he's going to the Chiefs, buddy.
Oh, is it done?
I think their intent is to sign him to their practice squad.
Phenomenal. Because, that makes sense. The Cowboys were in it, and they were looking into him, but they're going to lose out to the Chiefs like it seems like everybody is doing.
Pretty much.
How did they? Oh, my God. All right.
But when you have a culture that exists and it has been proven and it's true and you know who your coach is and you know who your quarterback is and you don't have holes to fill in your roster, you can take chances. So if your team drafted better and you had a proven commodity at coach and you found your franchise quarterback, then you can take chances on these guys. That's what the Chiefs do. You got to respect it.
It's what good teams do.
Yeah. And we have a long way to go.
We do.
With drafting to get there.
But that's so I got Vikings -7 and the under 48 points. I feel like I don't see the Dallas Cowboys covering, and I don't see them winning.
I mean, I don't know. I don't trust Kirk Cousins, but I don't trust you either.
No. I mean, I'll trust Kirk Cousins more than I'll trust Andy Dalton with this offensive line.
I don't trust any of these teams. I don't trust the Cowboys. I don't trust the Vikings. I don't trust the Browns. I don't trust the Eagles. This is the least trustworthy game. I'm watching this game with my hands on my pocket so they don't steal my wallet and my phone.
They're coming for you.
They're coming for me. Like
especially that Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, stupid commercials.
God. All right, that's all I got. Next week, I don't know how we're gonna handle. We'll have 2 shows. We'll release on a Thanksgiving. Right?
Sure.
I mean,
I gonna be honest, my brain did not comprehend that next Thursday was Thanksgiving. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Next Thursday is Thanksgiving. We will put out a special Thanksgiving special. Maybe Aidan will dress up like a turkey.
Depends on what mood Philadelphia sports have me in at the time.
That is true. And that all goes.
Get me a win in Zach LaVine, and I'll dress up like a freaking turkey.
Boom. It's that easy, Philadelphia.
That easy. Yeah, that easy.
That easy, quote unquote. All right. Well, enjoy the games. Make sure you are following us on Twitter. We are now on TikTok. The guys asked me if I was on TikTok, and I just responded by saying I'm 33, but I am now on TikTok.
Phenomenal response. There we are. Birds vs. Boys is everywhere.
And we're taking over the TikTok game. Follow us on Twitter at Birds vs. Boys Pod, Brandon _sports on Twitter. Aidan's around. I'm at KMess22. That's 26 episodes down. Tell your friends, tell your family if they're Cowboys fans, if they're Eagles fans, or just football fans in general. Watch on YouTube and listen anywhere you listen to podcasts. Aidan, my friend, I will see you around. Enjoy the weekend, and I hope you have a paper bag over your head again next week.
We will see.
It looks like you lost another one.
We'll catch you next time.